Honourable friends, it is indeed a very great pleasure for me, as Ireland's Minister of Education and Science, to address this first forum of Arab leaders on technical and vocational training, and indeed to have the opportunity to contribute to the deliberations along with Ireland's friends in the Arab League. It is also a very special pleasure to return to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I had the pleasure of representing the President and the Prime Minister of Ireland at the recent opening of King Abdullah University of Science and Technology last year. On that, my very first visit, I was left in no doubt of the vision and the commitment which His Majesty, the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah, and the Saudi government has for education and research, and indeed to the development of a society with a highly skilled and educated workforce. I know the role of the TVTC is crucial in these plans, and I had the honour of hosting His Excellency Governor Al-Ghafi's on an official visit to Ireland last year. And I want to thank him personally for that invitation to be here to participate in what is, for us, a very prestigious forum. During my conversations with the Governor, I have been struck by the challenges facing the TVTC in its core mission of developing the skills of the Saudi Arabia workforce. While the scale of the challenge is significant, so too is the ambitious scale of TVTC's response and its plans for the coming decade. I have assured the Governor that Ireland is fully committed and indeed willing to play a part in the TVTC's plans over the coming years. To that end, Governor Al-Ghafi and I signed a Memorandum of Understanding between my ministry and the TVTC. This sets out clearly where Ireland can work with the TVTC as a strategic partner in addressing the challenges of upskilling and development in Saudi Arabia, including such areas as training for trainers, exchange of specialised staff, joint research, and even the possibility of joint Irish-Saudi training institutes here in the Kingdom. We also hope that Ireland can expand its strategic partnership with other Arab nations in these areas also. I think that we all have much to learn from each other, and I know that we will have a valuable exchange of ideas during the course of this forum. And it is with that in mind that I want to outline some of the main developments from an Irish context in the areas of technical and vocational education. The availability of a highly educated and skilled workforce fueled the boom which Ireland benefited from for over a decade. Ireland, because of its geographical location, its membership of the European Union, and most importantly, because of its people, became a very powerful economy for a country of its size and population. And to put our two countries in context, Ireland's GDP is approximately 1/3 of Saudi Arabia, and our population is approximately 1/6. Last year, the Irish government published Building Ireland's Smart Economy, a framework for sustainable economic renewal. That blueprint focuses on key areas for action in ensuring our enterprise economy, in promoting competitiveness and establishing Ireland as an innovation hub. We know that our ambitions for Ireland's smart economy and indeed its smart society will only be realised and can only be realised through the vision, the originality, the creativity and the invention of our people. Education and training, therefore, and its relevance to the needs of individuals and employers are central to this. Skills are the engine room of the modern knowledge-based economy. supporting citizens to develop the knowledge, the skills and the competences they need to be active and successful participants in the smart society is a central objective of the entire education and training system in Ireland. We want to significantly increase the number of people involved in education and development, both in terms of school leavers and adult learners. Indeed, we have increased our participation rates in third level from 35% 10 years ago to in excess of 55% today, with a target of 75% in 2010. We need to do this to maintain Ireland's competitiveness and to provide a highly skilled, productive and flexible workforce for both Irish companies and multinationals. And the importance of this is underlined by a recent study that showed that the top 10 in-demand jobs in 2010 did not exist in 2004. A fundamental building block in developing skills is Ireland's National Framework of Qualifications, which was introduced in 2003. It is now the single structure for recognising all education and training awards in Ireland. There are 10 levels on our NFQ accommodating qualifications gained in schools, the workplace, the community, training centres, colleges and of course universities, from the most basic to the most advanced levels of learning. The NFQ is a reference point which facilitates access, transfer and progression and increasing the recognition of the awards themselves. Each of the qualifications included in the NFQ is made by recognised awarding bodies and particularly is quality assured. The NFQ supports and clarifies stakeholders' understanding of our education system and the evaluation of qualifications presented in the context of recruitment. Within the workplace, the NFQ can be used to connect training and development with business needs and to plan and assess staff training and education needs. The Irish Government is adopting a strategic approach in terms of education and training responses to the economic downturn and focusing on activation measures to keep both people from becoming unemployed but also working to get people back into employment as quickly as possible. A range of measures have been produced to expand the services to the unemployed and to promote a flexible learning environment tailored to the specific needs of the individual. Many people who are now unemployed may have excellent workforce skills, but because they have been a long time out of the formal education system, they may not have the standard entry qualifications for higher education. Therefore, a range of initiatives aimed at supporting people to access upskilling in the higher education sector have also been introduced. In terms of providers, Ireland has a nationwide network of vocational education committees, commonly known as VECs. These statutory education authorities have responsibility for vocational education training, for youth work and a range of other functions. VECs manage and operate a range of adult and further education centres delivering education and training programmes to all sectors of the community at levels 1 to 6 on the NFQ, where level 5 is roughly the equivalent of a school leaver and level 8 is an honours third level degree. In adult and further education, courses are open to all, but the main purpose is to provide a range of supports to people who have left school early or who need further vocational education and training to enhance their employment prospects and to enable them to progress their education up to a standard equivalent to upper secondary level. This facilitates the re-entry of job seekers to the workforce. And for those within employment, adult education and training enhances their skills and improves their ability to develop in a competitive environment and thus to advance their career prospects. In further education overall, after a period of expansion, the challenge is now to consolidate investment and to maintain long-term sustainability. Between 1997 and 2008, expenditure on this area has increased by over 400% to 414 million, enabling over 170,000 learners to access further education learning opportunities in 2008, an increase of 125,000 on the 1997 figure. There is also a range of programs available part-time and full-time for early school leavers. For school leavers themselves, the unemployed, adults returning to education, and those who wish to upskill and to reskill. For example, through the adult literacy and community education provision, the most disadvantaged, and those with literacy and numeracy difficulties can receive tuition and assistance to enable them to take that first step on the path of lifelong learning. In terms of policy development in this area, Ireland will participate in a major international survey of adult competencies to assess the level and distribution of adult skills in a coherent and consistent way across countries. The programme for the International Assessment of Adult Competencies will produce results in 2013, and this will provide a far more complete picture of the distribution of proficiency of the population according to types and the level of cognitive tasks they can perform, together with the levels of formal education and training achieved. In third level education in Ireland, this has been characterised by what we now know as the binary system, a university sector and an institute of technology sector. The importance of the distinctive roles, mission and provision in both sectors has now been long recognised. The institutes of technology have been a feature of Irish higher education since the 1970s, and their establishment was a response to a number of studies of Irish education carried out in the 1960s, which concluded that urgent attention was required in the area of advanced technical education to produce technically qualified people against a backdrop of new planning for industrial development. There are now 14 institutes of technology located throughout Ireland. Over the past number of decades, they have played a critically important role in providing highly skilled graduates who meet the needs of industry and enterprise throughout the changing fortunes of the country's economic history. From an initial focus on technical and technological education below degree level, the institutes now provide a comprehensive range of courses, including craft and apprentice programs, higher technical and technological education through 2-year higher certificate, 3-year ordinary bachelor degree, and 3 to 5 years honour bachelor degrees. The institutes also provide a range of postgraduate programs at postgraduate diploma, master's and doctoral level. The Institutes of Technology emphasis on sub-degree higher education programs has helped to improve the accessibility of higher education in Ireland and is opening up opportunities to those socio-economic groups who traditionally would not have pursued a higher education course. They have been innovative in creating and promoting new transfer and progression routes for students. The development of policies on recognition of prior learning in the institutes has enabled prospective students from non-academic backgrounds to build on their skills through participation in courses at an appropriate level. The provision of courses on a flexible basis is also an important means of widening access to higher education that the Institutes of Technology have spearheaded in Ireland. The institutes also play an important role in providing for recurrent education needs by way of part-time and evening courses, as well as catering for continuing professional education and development of the workforce through innovative partnerships with industry. The institutes will play a critical role in ensuring the provision of innovative and creative graduates who are equipped with the skills needed to perform successfully in a competitive environment and to contribute to fostering an enterprise culture. The nurturing of entrepreneurship is a role that has long been embraced by the institutes, who are collaborating to ensure that entrepreneurship education is embedded in all course curricula. In addition, the institutes are increasingly working in partnership with private enterprise to give students the opportunity to learn through work placement, to make business contacts, and to gain experience in their chosen field. Over the past 10 years, the institutes have built a strong reputation in applied and basic research and in technology transfer programs with industry. The institute's aim of exploiting knowledge in the interest of regional development, along with their vocational and scientific orientation, contributed significantly to the growth of the Irish economy in the 90s. They have responded to labour market needs by ensuring that Ireland has well-qualified graduates in key areas of skill needs. Indeed, the Institutes of Technology, which now provide for almost 50% of those pursuing higher educational qualifications in Ireland, has demonstrated great agility in responding to economic changes in a regional, national and international context. In the challenging recessionary times that are now with us today, the sector will still continue to play a critically important role in ensuring that tomorrow's graduates are equipped with the skills that are required by our employers. While the major challenges facing the further education and training sector is the requirement to cater for the increasing number of people who have found themselves unemployed, it must not be forgotten that the key components of lifelong learning are cultural development, promotion of equality and fairness, personal growth, and of course, social inclusion. These are among the fundamental principles of Irish society. These are the principles are echoed in the philosophy of vocational education and training. These services are as much about personal growth and development, promoting societal awareness and fostering a culture of participation by all, as they are about providing benefits to our own economy. In conclusion, research has demonstrated that the jobs of tomorrow will require additional new and higher skills that the jobs of today and the economic downturn has served to highlight this need rather starkly. Education services must always be in a position to impart relevant, high-quality skills across a broad spectrum of levels. We must provide our citizens with the skills to ensure employability in an ever-changing labour market. We must do this in order to maintain the health and the wealth of our society and our economy. Therefore, I would like to thank you again for the opportunity to join with you here today. This forum is an excellent chance for us to share ideas, to interact with each other, to collaborate, and to establish fundamental and long-lasting partnerships. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of your deliberations.